Good morning. So today it's Friday morning. Yesterday, I think I might have filmed in the morning. I think I probably did. It's been like this whole past week. Every day for me is like a week. It seems like yesterday morning was so far away from where I am today because of this twin flame journey is like emotional, like fast train. I don't want to say just a roller coaster because I don't feel like I've been on a roller coaster in the last few days, but I feel like it's like full force. I've been feeling, I guess you could say it's a roller coaster, but it's a smoother ride, it feels like. It feels like everything is fast forward. I go through so much and I have so many also since that shamanic ceremony. I think that's something I know that after shamanic ceremonies you're left wide open. And then when you, because of everything that came to you, all of the knowledge that came to you over the course of a day, it's like downloading a couple years worth of, doing, you take this past, I don't know, however many years, and it all gets, all these things that are open get processed. And it's like you're processing years of experiences all at once and understanding higher higher points and higher visions, and everything is resonating. You just see how everything is just so divine and so perfect. Even things that were resolved, that I felt like were resolved, more came up to the surface on those subjects, more understandings, things that I didn't know that I was holding, I let go of, I found and let go of. And you also get into the now, and you get into the now and you stay there for a period of hours, and just being in this place gives you an anchor to what it feels like. Somebody was coming on a walk, so I talked to them for a few minutes, so I paused it. On this twin flame journey, it's bigger than that. It's bigger than that. It's so much bigger than that. It's a spiritual awakening. It's an individual spiritual awakening for each of us. I feel like a moth to fire, but like it burns so good because it hurts, but you go through it. And then when you get out the other side, you see how much stronger you are. And it seems as though the only places that it hurts are places that you're holding on to. Once you let go, the pain is gone. And once you begin to surrender into the journey and kind of just allow yourself to enjoy the process, and that was also what he told me, uh, is enjoy the process, enjoy. And now that we've been in the process for a while, I can see the process. I can also see that it's divinely guided. I can see the genius in it. I mean, it's leaps and bounds above comprehension while you're going through it. When you go through a stage, you can look back and you go, wow, you can see it had to have happened that way in order for you to have gone through it and come up on top of it. and be that much stronger and be that much more of that much closer, I guess, heaven on earth. It's, it's revealed to you in stages, not in stages. It's like an unveiling. And the more you let go and surrender into the now, into being, you quit trying to control, because everything is in micro and macro, right? Macro and micro. Um, so what works in and the little loops works in the big loops too. So it's just like in the journey. When you're trying to catch on and you're holding on to things and holding on to expectations the way things should be, or holding on to your beliefs, or holding on to anything, trying to hold on to your twin, trying to grasp, it's elusive. It gets away from you. You can't hold on to it. And trying to hold on to it and it's moving around is painful because you're stuck. And when you start to surrender in the twin flame journey, and it's not about the twin coming back, but when you start to release, it's like you start hovering. You start realizing it's always going to be there because you see how it's working out so far. And you can also, the further you get along, and the more you play that game, or that, the more spiraling that you do. First of all, the spiraling becomes calmer, either at the inward spiral or the outward spiral. They both become calmer. And you begin to trust. You begin to trust because you go through, you see the wisdom. You go through, you see the wisdom. You go through, you see the wisdom. And it gets calmer and calmer. And the more rounds you do with your twin, also the more combined you become. The telepathic connection becomes stronger. The acceptance becomes the acceptance is mutual. You feel closer, and like you've been through more with this partner, so it makes you feel more bonded and close, and your guards go down because there's nothing to hide anyway. They just see it all. And you begin to see that the unconditional love that's there, like they can see all of your kishka, everything they can see. And that's why it keeps on going around and around, because they can see it. And it's like, you keep going around, and you keep going back into yourself to prepare yourself to purify yourself. See, the thing is that each one of us is looking inward. Each one of us is looking inward. And we're doing this process together. And it gave me a lot of peace to hear him say that. He was telling somebody else when we were at the beach the other day that him and I are doing a process together, and that through this process, because of this process, um, what did he call it? A chanicha. I don't know what you would call it in English. Training, maybe. But that's only one side of it. It's training and learning and all together. Um, but it gave me a lot of peace to hear him say that, because I know that he knows. And so then, I knew that he knew anyway, but to hear him say it, it means that he knows it openly and consciously. It's out in the open. And then we can both kind of talk about it for what it is. First of all, I'm very careful in those places because those are places that get, those are places that I rarely will go into unless like very need be. And also peace in knowing that he knows that we're going through a process, and then I can just ease into the process. I don't have to be, you know, second guessing myself. Have that also going on besides the self-healing, and the process is also the questioning and the wait a minute, because being all alone in this process and not being able to say, hey, we're in this process together, but knowing it, it's kind of, it's like he's holding up his side now. It feels like more. Not that I don't think he was holding up his side. I think that he was. I think that there was the everything that is happening, and the way that it's unfolding, and the way that it's opening, and the way that everything is happening is all just so divine, and it's so perfect. And I realize that it's perfect in and out. Nothing can happen before it's ready to happen. So energetically, you can't push something to being more ready than it's ready. It's like a fruit. You have to wait for it to ripen. You can't, you can eat it before it's ripe and try to force it, but you're not going to get that sweetness. You have to allow things to come into their natural place. Now you can let go, and I feel like the further along we get on this process, the easier it is to let go, and the easier it is for me to even notice the places that I'm holding, and the easier it is for me to kind of trust, and even things that I know that I'm not standing completely upright in yet. There's some places in my life that I can see that I'm still all caught up in. Um, Addictions. I guess everything is addictions. Also, the places that you get caught up that you know that you need to release, and you still are going in the loops. You still have those same triggers. And the triggers are because of your expectations in those places. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a trigger there if you were living in the now without expectations, trying to hold the reality in place. Expectations is trying to hold reality into being the way that you want it to be, and the way that you expect it to be, according to what is comfortable for you yourself. You see, it's like very greedy thinking. Coffee in a jar. I made my coffee and left. I got up this morning. It's Friday morning. So first I snoozed my 5 o'clock alarm 3 times. It was what I usually do a lot of times. I have the option if I really want to get up early. I have something I need to do. I can get up the earlier one. And then I do my meditation. I meditate early in the morning. Also, this is something my twin taught me. Early in the morning, you're connected. You're still connected. You're still in that hazy zone, and that's the best time to meditate. When you're in between, I do a guided meditation, his guided meditation. And every time I put it on, I think to myself, because he has a guided meditation online in Hebrew. It's a really good guided meditation for whoever speaks Hebrew. And I was thinking to myself how I start my morning by hearing his voice, and it's kind of like brainwashing myself. It's kind of like getting used to his voice in my life. Because I was thinking about it, if I didn't do that, there were times when we were in separation for like a few days without talking, a few times. And I was thinking that if I wasn't doing his meditation, hearing his voice every day, it would probably have been, he would have been way further faded out at that point. Look where I'm sitting. I'm sitting This is the entrance to my friend's property. I was sitting here the other day too. And then over there, down there is the Sea of Galilee. And the doggies just love being outside. So do I. I just love being outside. I just want to do this. I just want to be outside. I get up in the morning and be outside. Take whatever projects I want for the day. You know, I could do that for quite a few of my different projects that I do. Like yeah, but then it becomes, well, it depends. If I'm going to do a whole day of just making stuff, then I could go down to the beach and sit with my friends and slowly do it, lollygag. Anyway, when I'm at home, I don't only constantly work on that, thinking out my thoughts. I really feel like I'm at the edge of a breakthrough and that I really need to put my efforts. See, what I need to do is put my efforts where they need to be on furthering the mission. And that needs to start by really fully embracing the mission, knowing what it is and embracing. I'm sitting here like, oh, wait, lovely. And knowing exactly what it is. And I feel like that is something that's still settling. What I was talking about before with um, the loops that happen so just like on the twin flame journey, how it takes time for everything to come together and kind of it's like taking a cup of coffee and shaking it, well, a jar of coffee, let's say, and shaking it, and then you have to wait for everything to settle. It's kind of like that. And also in life, it's like that. You know, things take time to shift. When there's a shifting, like an awakening, when you awaken, this twin flame journey really pushes you into this awakening, and it's like the fast track. And I feel like for years before that, I've already been on this awakening and going, it was like going slow, slow, slow. And ever since, it's like this, it's like once both of the parties are ready to meet, they meet. And it feels like in my past, there's so many synchronicities. There's so many things like that were just randomly that our paths crossed, but our paths crossed in different times. Like we both went and worked in Ramot in the Golan, but at different times, like at a difference of a few years. Or or I always go to Nakalamud and do hiking. And when he was younger, he filmed Nakalamud and was talking about it. There's all sorts of like synchronicities, weird things, and things that he went through in his life, I went through in my life, but in a different way. And there's so many things like that. He'll say something and I'll be like, I know I did that too. And he's like, why are you copying me? Everything that I did, you did too. And I said, it's just because we're so similar. It's like we went through the same things. And I told him, and half the time I don't even tell you, because every time I tell you, you tell me that. Every time I tell him, whoa, I did the same exact thing. He's like, quit copying me. Why are you copying me? Everything I say you did. I said, it's because it's true, because we're so similar. When we went the other day for that full day, it was so much fun. It was so much fun. That was like one of the funnest days ever. It was like all day long, I was just like in dream mode. It took me out a full day. I'm still on the landing page from that one. I'm still like, oh, and that was so much fun, and that was so much fun. I'm still like on a high. That was a really fun day. So I went over to his house in the morning. We met. We took his son to school, so I got to see where his son learns. And then we went to the middle of the country. It was like a 2-hour drive. And so that was fun. We got to drive together and talked, and we learned about electricity on the way. And then when we got there, we met with a importer of electricity. I might have said this in a previous video, but now I feel like I'll just make a quick one about it. So we met with an importer that they do all sorts of green solutions for electricity, which is really cool because they have like these solar panels and they charge these big batteries that have the capability of you can power your whole house by it. I mean, you can't run air conditioners all day, of course, but I was thinking that that is just it's so cool because it really shows you how electricity is a commodity. And when you have only a certain amount of electricity that you have at your use, then you really pay attention to what you use and you don't use more than you need. You really conserve and really it cleans your life up. It's like I want to the word sloppy is coming into my into my mind, but I want to say it in a positive note. So you become more efficient and your life becomes cleaner and more um intentional, and you make your own electricity, so you really appreciate your electricity that you get. You watch the sun, it makes you live with the sun. So like for now there it's a little bit cloudy, so you realize, okay, so my batteries are going to be getting a little bit less sun today. So then you conserving naturally. It becomes a game. It becomes like the game of life, not like now when I'm just going to give an example of myself with the electricity in the house. You don't think about going and unplugging your appliances when you're not using them because they are using just a tad bit of electricity. If you are completely saving and conserving and caring about the earth too, that's what's best for the earth. Something must be going on in the bushes over there. The dogs took off running. See something over there. You're not gonna you're gonna be waiting for night. You're gonna want to use your electricity at night. You're gonna want to be able to have some light in your house. So you're gonna be conserving. You're not gonna be using lights until you need them. I think that it's just I would love to get a piece of land and build a little cabin on it. Even a truck on wheels, something that moves, and build like this outside area with that, and grow my own food and raise animals and kind of live with the land. I would love to do that. And then I could build all my different little projects and do different little things. I could make like a fairyland. I would make a fairyland. It would all be kind of low to the ground and kind of like Hobbit type. That would be really, really fun. Hobbit fairyland, fairy type. Because I would also like to have like a, a tree house for something. I don't know. A tree house for something. You know what? It could be a yoga tree house, or it could be a place where I could do singing circles, or just meeting with friends with um, deep thought conversations, or or whatever, or whatever. I want a tree house, and I also want like a hobbit house. Yeah, it's kind of halfway under the ground, like, well, at least maybe like a studio room, or maybe like a um yeah, some kind of studio room, because sometimes I really feel like getting into like a little cave, like my own little personal cave where magic could happen. It's like you go in there and it is blocks out all the outside noise. It's like a little dark hobbit hole. I have that side in me too. And then I like the airy side too. And then I want a greenhouse, like a big greenhouse that's tall, because I can grow vines in it and make a jungle in it, and um, I could raise butterflies in it if I wanted to. And I want like trees and water running through, and also like a porch and a view. I want a view. See, we're already, if we're wanting what we want and I'm just allowing myself to be free, then those are all the things I'm making. If I'm allowed to be free, and I want quiet like it is here, it's quiet. See, I'm out, it's quiet. And I want fruit trees. And I want to raise chickens. And I want goats. And I want little goats. I want a pair of goats, at least. And I want to be close to where I can just go out and go hiking. And if we're already saying where we want to go hiking, then I want a stream that I can hike that's near water. It could be the same stream that runs through my property. It could be fine. And then that could be my home base. And then I want to travel. So that could be my home base. And then besides that, I have a truck that I can travel with, and it pulls a car. So then you could go, like, I could take the truck, I could drive it down to the Dead Sea or something and park it for a week. You know, pull out its awnings and build a big thing and a little makeshift kitchen and whatever. And then during the day, then you just take the Jeep and you go on day trips. So you can make sandwiches and stuff and everything that you need, and take water. Well, if we're already out there and if we already have the property with the water running through it, and where I can build my own little fairyland, and that's what I do. See, that's what I do. Then and then I can travel and meet people. I like meeting people. So I can travel with the truck and go on day trips with the Jeep that has like water on the roof. Okay, so this is my fantasy life, right? We're making fantasy lives. And then and then I get to meet people too and go and talk to people. Maybe that's what I do. I go and meet people. So I go and meet with groups of people and talk, because that's what I like doing. And then it could also give me like a place for channeling. Okay, so I can vision it. I see it. I see it like I want it. Now, moving from here to there, get more and more of the details in. I'm also thinking that, like I was thinking with the electricity. Oh, that's where all this started from. We had the funnest day ever, but on that day, oh, my battery. I need to just get going. On that day, twice, because we look alike, him and I. There were two people there was the one lady that she knows me. She knows me for years, and she asked if we were sister and brother because we look alike, and and he said yeah, from a past life. And then there was another lady that we saw when we went to Humus Tishim, that in the entrance she saw us and she said, wow, you guys look alike. And we said, oh yeah, that's the second time today. Okay, so I'm going to end this here. Thank you for watching. Um, I'm still in this intake mode. Like now, I feel like like I opened up a little bit, and things are starting to come out, and I'm starting to, it's like everything gets mixed up in a cloud, and slowly it starts settling, and then slowly I can slowly the ideas come together, and I can put them out. But right now I still feel like I'm a little bit in intake mode. I feel like everything is more relaxed. I feel like I'm a lot more let go. Like I've just surrendered. And every time I get caught up, it's like, whoosh, it's like I already know how to surrender. I can already feel it starting to get caught up. And then it's like, I breathe through it. I recognize it. I breathe through it. Yesterday, I was having a little bit of the chasing energy. I felt it coming on. I was like, what? Just disperse it. Sit in your place. Everything is exactly as it's supposed to be. Everything is divinely guided. And if this is where I'm at, there's a reason why I'm here, and everything led to this point divinely. And I start realizing that you can't be in one. And besides, I have so many different things that I want to do with my life rather than just chasing and depending on somebody else to make my dreams come true, even though he's just so sweet. I can see how he is like, he's so funny. He makes all my dreams come true. Like I wanted to be a helper. So I got to be a helper for a day with him. He's so funny, but he makes it so funny. And then I asked him, well, what did I help with? Because yesterday he said I was such a good helper. And I feel like he's like taunting me. I said, well, what did I do? I didn't do anything. And he said, well, you brought your vibration and your vibe with you. And that I make a good atmosphere and connect between people. So that was really sweet. I'm glad I asked. I got a really good compliment there. And it was really nice. Okay, so I'm going to end this here. It's already on, and like I can't even see the screen because the battery is almost dead. Okay, thank you for watching.